Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so we're going to try to figure out the Dallas and the Phoenix Suns series prediction here. I haven't given this series the slightest thought. So what we're doing right now is breaking it down here. So, first thing I want to talk about in regards to the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic is back. Luka Doncic is healthy. He's going to start this series. He didn't start the last one. Missed the first two games, I think, of the Utah series. And the things that we learned about the Dallas Mavericks just as a team is, first of all, they really do have inconsistent shooters. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I like their shooters when they're on, but you never know when they're all going to be on. Are they all going to be on at the same time? Who knows? That's my thing about them. Those key shooters are Maxi Kleber, Reggie Bullock, and God, his name always escapes me, but it's a third shooter that they just got from the Wizards. I need these guys to play well, man. They need to shoot well with the minutes that they're given. Maxi Kleber's confidence from behind the arc seems to have waned a little bit. He's passed up an open three-point shot in the previous game. Took a mid-range jumper, floater. That kind of thing stands out in my mind because even though it was a good decision, gave him 2 points, it was a good decision. At the end of the day, he's a shooter. You don't want him hesitant to shoot the ball. So you're going to need those shooters to definitely step their game up. And Davis Bertans is the third shooter. You're going to need those shooters to shoot well against a good shooting Phoenix team. And boy, are they good. Now, not from behind the arc. Let's just preface that by saying they had their struggles behind the arc against the Pelicans. In fact, they couldn't throw a rock in the ocean through 5 games. They were shooting under 30% from the three. However, from the field goal, inside the arc, they set tones. They set, if I'm not mistaken, they set a record. Shot above 50% for the first 4 games of that series. And against a Pelican team that is a very, very good defensive team. So the things that we saw out of the Phoenix Suns in that series were very impressive. Chris Paul went 14 for 14 in the previous game in a legendary performance to close out the Phoenix Suns. Having been guarded by Alvarado in that series, to see him go for a performance like that was just simply one of the greatest things I've ever seen, like ever, in any situation. It was one of those moments. And you can just tell that Chris Paul's on a mission. He's not at all in a space where he's confused about who he is or what his team can do or what it is they can do without him or none of that. This is a team that knows themselves. They know their roles. They all fit. And they're a balanced team that has a bunch of strengths in just about every area you can think of. Talk about a guy like Mikal Bridges, who had a fantastic series, particularly I think it was game 5 where he went for 30-something points, bunch of steals, bunch of blocks, bunch of rebounds, bunch of everything. Very efficient. He doesn't miss games. He doesn't miss moments. He's one of the most Iron Men. He's the Iron Man in the league right now, Mikal Bridges. And you just have to respect what he does on both ends of the floor at all times. He will be a thorn in the Dallas Mavericks side, most definitely. Cam Johnson, Cam Payne need both of those Cams to step up. They did not have their best series. Cam Johnson, he was steady. I mean, his minutes were a little inconsistent and stuff like that. He shot his 3 here and there. You want to see him continue to thrive on the defensive side of the ball. Because he did impress quite a bit last year in the playoffs, where I was able to take a good look at him in the finals and all that. Cam Johnson gets steals in the open court as well as anybody. Him and Mikal Bridges should, in theory, be a nightmare to deal with for those Dallas Mavericks forwards. And those forwards on those Dallas Mavericks team, they're not so bad they dang self. You're talking about a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith, who is one of those wing guys, one of those 3-and-D dudes that can get out there and create problems with his length. He's just a fantastic player. In my opinion, he probably is the third most effective player on the Dallas Mavericks right now, behind Jalen Brunson and, of course, Luka Doncic. I just look at Dorian Finney-Smith as somebody who's going to help me defensively. And when the offensive side, the ball comes to him, he's a steady 3-point shooter, a steady guy who can get an offensive rebound, stuff like that. You definitely want him in heavy rotation. He should be one of the most used players on this Dallas Mavericks team at this point. And that's up to the coach, Jason Kidd, who is one of the better coaches right now, stepping into his own with this Dallas Mavericks team. I think the fit is good with him and his style of play. The things that he's been doing, the buttons he's been pressing with this roster have been working. And you just love what you see there, especially out of Jalen Brunson. Young guy. Rick Brunson's son. Rick Brunson, a player who used to play in the NBA for many years. His son is a heck of a player, man. This dude has set tones, real tones for scoring and to start this series. averaged 28 points in the previous series, and just carved teams up all year long in the interior. They can't seem to figure him out. He's not quite laying the ball up, and he's not shooting jumpers, but in that little range in between the layup and the jumpers, in that little 15, inside 15, probably like 10 feet, 8-foot range, he's a surgeon. He's a surgeon. He's like a little Tony Parker. He just continues to lay the ball up, get little bank shots. I mean, he scores so very efficiently in his sweet spots. And until a defense effectively figures out how to crowd him out of those spots, he's going to continue to get his points. It's almost like watching Floyd Mayweather box. You can't even figure out what he's actually doing to you. What he's doing is beating you on the scorecards. What he's doing is making you miss and making sure he lands. Now, it's not the prettiest thing in the world. He's not looking to knock you out, but he is looking to beat you on the scorecards. He's looking to beat you technically, and that's exactly what Jalen Brunson is here to do. He's going to beat you technically. And until a defense figures out that he likes to shoot from these little bitty weird spot all the time, he's going to continue to do it, and he's going to do it very well. So they haven't figured him out, and they're not going to, in my opinion. It's just a very, very, very unique and intelligent offensive and defensive player. You can play a little defense too. But on that offensive side, he's scoring a lot. He's going to carve up the Phoenix Suns just like he carved up the previous team. That's not going to change. He's going to do him. And it's going to be on guys like Campaign, Chris Paul, and Mikal Bridges to do something about it. You got to stop him. But they're going to have their hands full with, Luka the Don. Luka the Don is Luka the Don. Luka Doncic the Great. And we already know that he's one of the young phenoms in this league. He's played with grown men since he was basically 12 years old. I remember watching this dude play basketball when I was 18. Like, he was running around on the floor with Kobe one year. We had a Laker game where his team came to play, and he was like literally 13 running around there with us. It was the weirdest thing, but he was good. He was a really good player, and to this day, he's a really, really good player. We knew he was going to be a superstar then, and nothing about what we're seeing now is any different than what we expected. He is one of the elite guards in this league. He's one of the best passers in the game, one of the best shooters in the game, one of the best rebounders in the game. And so when you consider what he does at a fairly slow pace, he's not jumping out of the gym. He's not overly exciting to watch in terms of athleticism. But what he's going to do is shoot, and shoot well. He has a special gift from shooting the ball, just like a Steph Curry, just like any of these guys that just can shoot the ball in the tight spaces, tight windows at a really, really, really high efficiency. He's one of those. He just has a God-given gift for basketball, and he knows what he's doing. Simple as that. He knows what he's doing. He's one of the best players in the world. I don't know that there is a stop for him. I don't think there's a defense for him. There's no Luka stopper. That type of thing doesn't exist. But what you can do is throw a wall at him, speed up the pace, which I don't see people do enough, since he likes to walk the ball up and keep his team in a half-court setting, get those balls to those shooters, drive at the rim, shoot his little elbow jumpers and three-point shots and all of those step backs and stuff. He likes to keep you in the half-court. Phoenix Suns need to pick that pace up, have that boy running. Chris Paul running down the teeth of him, do the things that Chris Paul does, pick him apart, get in his head. And that's going to be the most important thing to understand about this series. Chris Paul is going to try to get in Luka Doncic's head or get in Jalen Brunson's head. He's going to pick one of them dudes, and he's going to mess with him. He's going to elbow him. He's going to kick him in the knee, something. He's going to do something dirty, guaranteed. Look out for it. Chris Paul. It's Chris Paul. And you understand that Chris Paul understands that with respect to the New Orleans Pelicans and Brandon Ingram, who I think is going to be probably an MVP candidate someday soon. Ain't nobody on that Pelican team Luka Doncic. He's going up against an entirely different level of greatness when you're talking about what he has to deal with right here. So the efficiency level and the attention to detail is going to be more important. I do not necessarily think the Dallas Mavericks are a better team than the Pelicans, but when you're talking about a level of talent like Luka Doncic, you might as well consider it that. Dealing with him alone is that. You see what I'm saying? He's one of those. So Devin Booker, obviously, is somebody you want to talk about in the series. He's going to be extremely important. Excuse me for that. You're going to need him to bounce back from that injury that he's been dealing with. And it's been a serious injury, to be honest with you. Kept him out of 2 games. I'm going to get that off my face if it kills me. Anyway, all right. And it kept him out of 2 games. And he came back, played pretty well in the last game that we saw him in. I think it was 2 games, maybe 3. But he came back, played really well. with the minutes given, obviously he's still hobbled. He wasn't 100%, but he hit a big corner three, and that's really all they needed him to do. Just continue to be a threat until he's 100%. I don't know what his status will be in this series. I would imagine they're going to continue to play him if he was well enough to play in the last one. I'd imagine he'd be well to play in this one unless there's been a sudden setback I haven't heard about. So I expect him to be ready for this series. I also expect for the Dallas Mavericks to attack him. Being that he's not 100%, it's probably a good idea. Anybody that's hobbled at any given time, I'm thinking attack him defensively. So that's just me. Cam Payne, we've talked about him. We've mentioned him in this video. We're going to mention him again. Cam Payne needs to play better. He did not have a good series against the New Orleans Pelicans. I know some of that probably had to do with that team defense that the Pelicans throw at you, but he's going to have to play better because we are used to him playing at a star level when Booker or CP3 steps out. And in this series, that didn't happen. He did in the regular season, but he did not do it in the series, and it threw a monkey wrench in the Phoenix Suns situation. They needed Mikal Bridges to step up and play the way he did in Game 5, or they'd probably still be playing basketball right now with the Pelicans. So he needs to step his game up soon. Also, Jay Crowder, he has to shoot better from the three. Jay Crowder's one of the more reliable one of the more reliable small forward, power forward combinations out there. For this generation, he's one of those main playoff guys like PJ Tucker. You just see him everywhere no matter what. He's on a different team, but he's always playing a huge role. This is one of those years for a guy like Jay Crowder, but he did not shoot well from behind the arc. Some of their woes that they had in that series was because he wasn't his best. He's going to have to play better against the Dallas Mavericks, and I expect him to do that with the minutes given. We talk about the wings that the Phoenix Suns have. He is one of them, and his defense and offense is important. JaVale McGee. Think about those bigs, JaVale McGee and Ayton. Obviously, Ayton has been eaten, as we love to say. He had an extremely efficient series against the New Orleans Pelicans. Just ate every night. He was one of the most consistent players in that entire series. His field goal percentage being consistent was why the team had a fantastic field goal percentage. And I don't expect anything to change. The Dallas Mavericks don't have a single answer for him at all. To be completely honest with you, there's no answer there. I like Dwight Powell, but not that much, to be honest with you. And, as my mind just races around trying to figure out who the heck they got guarding him, I don't see an answer there. So that's really where the separation happens for this series. You just look at the bigs, and you know that Dallas is not going to be able to throw anything at them that's going to really give them any trouble at all. To be completely honest with you. And the fact that the Dallas Mavericks love to play in the half court and don't have an answer for Ayton makes this a really, really tough series in that way. So that's where the separation starts to take place. I start thinking about the Dallas Mavericks. I'm like, all right, Dorian Finney-Smith, like who's the center on the team? I'm sure they have somebody they trust. Boban, is it Boban? I don't know who you're gonna go with in that situation. Maybe there's somebody on that roster I'm not thinking about, but I'm thinking about Dwight Powell, and I'm saying, what is he gonna do with Ayton? I don't even know if he's gonna do too much with JaVale. So, Kleba and those guys, those are shooters. They're not defensive players like that. They play good defensive basketball, though. And I got to preface that by saying Kleba did play some fantastic defense in that last series. I got to take that back. He looked good defensively in the series that they had the Pelicans. He looked good. So maybe he helps, but not against Ayton. He looked that damn good. Yeah, Phoenix going to win the series. Phoenix is going to win the series because there's no answer in the paint for Ayton, and I don't like the style as it pertains to the Dallas Mavericks being able to keep up with this half-court style they love to play. They don't get out in the open court at all. They rarely have any fast break points in any games they play in, and I just don't think that you can get away with that against the Phoenix Suns, who really do get out in the open court quite a bit. You talk about Cam Payne, Cam Johnson, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges. These guys get on the open court and they run. So that right there is going to be some easy buckets that I don't expect Dallas to force. Even though they're a good defensive team, they just don't get out there. So, yeah. Defense is going to play a big part in this. Dallas is an underrated defensive team who've had some really good defensive sequences throughout the season where they were given a lot of credit for their defensive play. If they can tap into that and find a way to stifle this Phoenix Suns team with multiple scoring options, Luka Doncic can kind of control the ball. They control the tempo. I think they can give themselves an opportunity to win every game they're in, to be honest with you. But it's going to be about controlling the pace for the Dallas Mavericks. Controlling the pace keeping Ayton off the glass, which doesn't seem possible on paper. That doesn't seem possible. So they're going to have to take care of their possessions. They're going to have to shoot quality baskets. They're going to have to be efficient, extremely efficient shooting the ball against this Phoenix Suns team. And if the Phoenix Suns can continue to struggle from behind the arc, as they did in that series against the Pelicans, and that works in Dallas's favor for sure, so long as Dallas doesn't have scoring droughts their damn selves, because they do. So this is going to be a weird series in a sense where you're going to see some games that are going to have scores like 97-76, stuff like that. You're going to see games where Phoenix is up, because I do think Dallas, if Luka's not going, Jalen Brunson's going to give you his 28. But if Luka's not going, there are going to be games where the rest aren't either. Spencer Dinwiddie has games where he disappears. Like I said, the shooters are inconsistent. Jalen Brunson is the most consistent scorer on this team outside of Luka Doncic. And you talk about those players, they're only going to give you like, together, they'll give you 70 points at the absolute most. So, with that being said, it's going to be upon the Dallas Mavericks others to play so very well every single night on both sides of the floor in order to give them a chance against the Phoenix Suns, and I just don't think they have one. I don't. This series starts off in Phoenix as well, so that means the first game will be in the Valley of the Sun. All of that doesn't bode well for Luka Doncic, man. None of it does. So, just looking at it on its surface, thinking about how many open looks, well, not open looks, but how wide open the paint should be for Ayton. I don't like it. I don't like it for Dallas. And look at what type of play CP3's been on, what type of mission he's been on lately, the way he's been playing. I don't like that for Dallas either. So, yeah, man, this is not going to be that difficult for me. As you can see, the Phoenix Suns are definitely the winner of this series in my mind. The question is how many games. And it's just a style of play situation. I don't think I have Dallas's full roster in my head. I'm trying to figure out who the heck their center is, and all I'm coming up with is Dwight Powell and Boban. So if there's another somebody there, it's just not coming to mind. But because I don't have an envision of anybody actually being able to guard Ayton, it's going to be hard for them to even win a game, to be honest with you. The way he's been playing, and you couple that with Devin Booker and Chris Paul being back, Dallas is far, far outclassed in the series. Now, can they get a game? I think they can, because I think Jalen Brunson is that difficult to figure out. I think Jalen Brunson is that difficult of a player to stop at this stage in the game. So I think they get a game. Luka Doncic is such a fantastic player, so you want to give him two. But Phoenix is such a fantastic defensive team and clutch team. So if the game is close, I always say this about the Phoenix Suns, and this season has told you the truth. If the game is close, Phoenix won. The numbers tell you that. So I'm gonna say Phoenix in 5. I would give them 6, but if it's a close game like that, I'm gonna play the percentages and go with Phoenix anyway. So I think the series could potentially stretch to 6, but I'm gonna stick with 5. Yeah, I'll stick with 5. Phoenix in 5. Phoenix is a much better team than Dallas. I trust Luka Doncic. I like Jalen Brunson. I like Jason Kidd, but I just don't trust the rest of that team. As it pertains to going up against the best team in the league and actually outclassing them for 7 games. This is not happening. That's not happening. Let's just be real. That's not happening. Unless COVID protocol rears its ugly head once again, snatches Devin Booker again or something stupid like that. I don't think Dallas has enough personnel right now to beat the best team in the Western Conference. No. No. So, Phoenix in 6, or 5, Phoenix in 5 with the potential to 6. And I'll leave it at that. So I thank you guys for watching. I think the first game is 2 days from now. I think the first game I'll give it to Dallas. Phoenix. I believe Phoenix will win game 1 at home against Dallas, of whom they outclass. Luka Doncic could have big numbers. He's still going to lose because he just doesn't have enough help. The Dallas Mavericks are going to find that they need to continue to tweak their roster. Simple as that. Tweak your roster. A big series out of Josh Green would go a long way. Nobody's expecting anything out of Josh Green. He's just a role player right now. But he's one of those others on the Dallas bench that provide the athleticism and the defensive prowess and the ability to get in the open court, to actually get them some fast break points. It'd be great for him to step into his own in this series. I think that would help a long way. I'm not saying he should try to do too much, but with the minutes given, if he can be efficient and hyperactive defensively, get out in the open court, get some open dunks going, grab rim, he can go a long way. He and Dorian Finney-Smith, very important players defensively, Reggie Bullock. They're long guys. They can create problems for the Phoenix Suns here and there. But Devin Booker's gonna shoot them out the hell. Chris Paul's gonna carve them up, and Aiton's gonna eat in the inside. Yeah, 5 games, you guys. Just not a good matchup for them. It is what it is. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.